everybody, and welcome to another Tuesday party episode of Blunders and Bothwellians, the Wounded Witch edition. This is, as I say, the Tuesday party. They are in Risha. They are just landing their magnificent airship, which is now named Isabella's something. Isabella's Blessing, that'll be it. Their massive airship, Isabella's Blessing, and they've landed it in the village of Anto Indom, which in Elvish translates to the Mouth of Dark Night. It's outside the Forest of Ibar, which is the Forest of Death in Risha. Sounds a bit ominous. What's the worst that could happen, hey? So here we are with the Tuesday party, and they're on episode 38. So, what will occur? Who bloody knows? It's our last one before Christmas. Next week we are having a chat. We're calling it Tavern Talks, where we're all going to chill out, have some drinks, have some foods, and we are going to discuss various different things. But for now, let us jump back in with this crazy bunch of peoples. Hey guys!
Oh, hello.
Hi! So welcome to episode 38, you guys. The last one before Christmas. I know. It's all going marvellous. So you guys have done many crazy things. You picked up a duck companion. You have got a...
Quack.
Welcome once again, Duckius Maximus. You've got a little teddy bear who's the size of a ruler, who has been named Win-Win and is wearing a Winnie the Pooh jumper. And you guys are just landing your magnificent airship, Isabella's Blessing. I have not said that correctly so far yet today. Isabella's Blessing! I will get there. You are landing your magnificent airship. The length of the ruler is 30 centimetres. Don't be a pedantic duck. I'm kidding, it's fine. Always clarify.
A pedantic.
Oh! That's the level you can expect. This is it. This is as good as it's going to get. So you guys are landing just outside the Forest of Ibar in Risha, which is the Forest of Death. Dun dun dun! Anyone who doesn't speak Elvish or hasn't had it translated to them is probably less worried than everyone else. You are docking just outside the village, which is outside the closest village ever to the Forest of Ibar. The village is called Anto Indom, which translates to the Mouth of Dark Night, so named because it sits basically in the mouth of the dark forest. In the dark forest there was dark things, which you shall find out. So, you guys, welcome. You guys are just landing. It is bright and early in the morning. You have just had your breakfast. Everything is hunky-dory. Risha is quite bright, quite pleasant. It's a bit dark and murky where you guys are at the moment, just because as you've flown over you have noticed that that is the forest's doing. So Risha itself is a fairly bright and cheerful place. Those of you who have come from here or visited before, you guys will know this. It's fairly bright, fairly chipper, very, very magical, highly intense magic around here. But the Forest of Ibar is sort of I think Silent Hill, but instead of it being mist, it's like dark fog. You can still see the trees, and when you fly over it, you can see the forest spread out before you. But it is sort of shrouded in darkness, and you can't make out all the way across it. You can't see where it ends or begins, and you can't see many clearings in it either. So, yes, Varric, you have drawn maps of what you can remember of this forest, and everybody will have access to those as well. God, Theritas, what are you beeping at us for? So, you guys dock, and you have eaten, you are fed and watered, you have some supplies. The crew, having been paid for a month already, are happy to sit and wait for you. Sit and wait for you, he says. Yep, sitting and waiting. Definitely not going down there. We will sit up here. Absolutely no problem. You can go down the ladder by yourself. Just whistle when you want it lowered. And how long would you like us to wait? And he turns to the captain. This is the sort of like the quartermaster-y guy you're talking to at the moment. And he turns to Captain Wyatt, who sort of leaps down from the steering wheel and jumps down. Yeah, how long are you going to be, guys, do you think? have we got a time limit on this? We can hang out. We're prepaid for the month. Are you expecting to be that long? Is there any sort of plan here? No pressure or anything. We're cool.
Hopefully we won't be an entire month. But if we're not back, maybe wait for us.
Sure.
If we're not back in a month, we're probably going to be dead.
All right. So month is the cut-off point. Then that's good to know.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Yeah. Once the money runs out, off you pop. But hopefully we won't.
That's fine.
That long.
I promise not to commandeer your ship. Once the month is up, how about we will return to Carnal Keep, deposit your ship, and find our own way onwards, unless we hear otherwise. That's a good plan. Trying to be cheerful about this. I have heard nothing but horror stories about this forest, and heard nothing but ill, and hope for the best, but expect to never see any of you again. And I'm quite fond of you guys, so you've just spent quite a lot of money on this ship, so I really hope you get to enjoy it one day.
That's very honourable of you. Thank you, Yes, like I said, hopefully we're not quite that long. I'm going to turn to Arissa and say, hey, we got the goggle. And give her a really pathetic wink. Like a double eye blink, because I can't wink properly.
Arissa just stares at her for a moment like, what the fuck are you doing? And then kind of goes, oh, the goggles, yeah! And then I assume I still have them on my person.
I would assume that you have them sort of like on the top of your head, as a grandma would have their reading goggles at all times.
Beautiful. Yes, I shall pop them on.
People are just posting gifs of awkward winks now, and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life.
That was pretty
And that's why Arissa's just like, are you okay?
Varric, in answer to your question, can I just sniff the fresh air of Risha and excitedly wander around? Given that you asked people to make sure that you don't wander off on your own, I'm going to say yes to the first bit and no to the second.
Yeah.
To be fair, Varric would still try.
Would anybody like to put a leash on Varric?
I'm sure Redo would like to put a leash on someone.
I'm going to go ahead and guess that it's not Varric.
You never know. She may have plans for all of you.
Bum, bum, bum.
In which case, I think Arissa would try to rely on it. Maybe just like nudge him, like mentally with the ring message. Just like, oi, 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 oi.
Oh, yes.
Stop it.
And yes.
Don't wander off.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. And then I'll just like backtrack back to the group.
Arissa just kind of nods in satisfaction.
Arissa is on it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys climb on down the ladder. Did you want to take any, none, or some of your menagerie with you?
I'm going to have fire as in my Pokeball.
Okay.
I mean, not Pokeball, but that's not... What should we call it? A Pokeball. Fine.
We shall call it a Mokeball.
You are sly.
I know, it's almost as sly as when I named all of my countries after members of Critical Role. You totally can't notice, and it's totally above board. Okay. Okay.
Vitharitus will take his mount, and I'm presuming.
Yeah, you do have a way to get them down as well. There is like a spiral sort of staircase that they can lower for you, because this is a very fancy airship.
Nice.
Okay, so Pristy's got her boar. I assume Warman is just flapping around.
Yeah, she just is there.
Cool.
She just exists next to me.
That'd be fine. And for Theratas, you're taking your mount. Orissa, are you going to take the little bear? Oh, she's be right backing. So, all right, I will ask her in a moment. And for the meantime, I will assume that Win-Win is with her. Are there any other animals anyone wishes to take with them, or are you all good?
Matika stays behind.
Check-in time for animals is closing in 3, 2, 1, and no more animals going on the flight. Okay, except for potentially Orissa's bear because she was AFK when I asked. So, okay. All right, so you guys jump down. Again, it's fairly daylight. As you approach the village of Antoindom, it actually has a sign which has been crudely painted in sort of black and silver. It's been like chiseled in and then filled in with black and silver in a little sign. It's a bit rotten. And it's one of those sort of stereotypical horror movie signs, and it says Antoindom on it, and sort of scrawled underneath is various different things such as turn back, go away, get out, we don't want you here, leave, and various other swear words in Elvish.
Nice.
The village itself is quite small. It is in my book. I shall describe it to you. Oh, if it has an innkeeper, I will know their name. This was a joke we made before I started recording, so it's fine.
Oh, Orissa said she is bringing Win-Win.
Okay, that is fine. Orissa has Win-Win with her. Okay, so it sits on the
Oh my
right
god.
end. What?
Sorry, Rosie. She's just said, Rosie, can I have a knitted pouch for Win-Win to sit in that's kind of like a baby harness?
Yes, and because of how pregnant you are right now, he will literally sit just above the little bump.
Oh my god.
Beautiful.
So it's like a little sort of step for his feet.
Oh.
Oh my god.
I love that we're such different ends of a spectrum. We're like the cute party and the filthy party all at the same time.
It's like
Orissa brings the cute.
we will have lewd sex parties, but we will also do beautiful things for little animals.
Oh.
Hannibal is glaring at the bear. Don't worry, Hannibal. From what you can tell about this bear, it's not very clever, but it's not like kicking its legs about and hurting her. And if it did, it would be a very, very light tap. It's pretty much all fur.
That's good.
Care
God, Care Bears.
Care Bears. So, Antoindom, the village of the mouth of the Dark Night, it's home to very few. Those of you who have come from Risha, so Varric Apricity, could you please do me a history check with advantage?
Ooh.
Oh, Ragnar would qualify as well.
Oh, yes, you would. Sorry, you weren't on my list because you're not on my players list. So, yes, you can have one as well.
Excellent.
Most excellent.
I'm glad I got a little advantage because I just rolled a nat 1 on one of my dice.
Here's hoping for a nat 20.
Not quite.
I rolled 2 lucky
Varric,
sevens.
you got 2 lucky,
Lucky
sevens.
Can I add them together to just make a 14 and have a decent score?
Okay, so that's a 19 and 15. Okay, well, Varric, you would have heard a little bit about this, but in everything else that you had going on in your life, you didn't hear as much as the others. So you, Varric, will have heard that this is a village full of mad people. They're all absolutely insane, and you think it was a joke, maybe like they're insane to live there, but actually the rumor is that they are genuinely quite insane. Yes, you grew up in a forest, so it would make sense for you not to know that much. So Angry Beholduck and Apricity with the insane amount of middle names that I've just had to write 5 times in my notes. You guys remember that Antoindom is home to very few. Most people say that they're mad, and most people say that they are driven to madness or wild behaviour over centuries of the dark forest of Ibar calling to them. It's a similar sort of vibe to, if anyone has seen the movie the forest about
Yeah.
that forest in Japan where everyone goes to commit suicide. Cheerful subject for Christmas. It's a similar sort of feeling, like the forest sort of sits and lures people in, and it sort of calls to those who are sort of susceptible. So very few people live or stay here. But at the same time, you've also heard rumours that the people who live here, in the insanity driven by the forest, they've actually managed to build up a sort of resistance to it and have managed to survive here for several years without completely being drawn to it. But they don't stop people from going in because they see it as they will warn them, but that's it. They take no responsibility if people want to enter. And this is one of the few entrances to the forest, because a lot of the trees are so thick elsewhere and so full of brambles and roots and so high up, and the terrain is so difficult, that this is one of the few entrances where you can actually get into the forest. And it's a definite exit as well, but you have to find it. So yeah, fun.
Ragnar's gonna be like holding his hand crossbow, just like fiddling with it, but just basically trying to look like he's not ready to shoot something, but he's ready to shoot something if need be.
So you're fiddling with it.
Of course. Whenever I'm ready to shoot, I will fiddle.
Oh God.
It's been 20
Ask
minutes,
Navinye.
guys. Yes, that's a question. Ragnar, would you be taking Navinye with you? You can have her, she can be in a torch bracket, or she has her own lantern that you can carry her around in. Would you be taking responsibility for carrying her, or Vitheritas, would you rather have her for the time being?
I'll let Vitheritas choose. Ragnar will gladly have her, but
Vitharitas will probably let Navinye choose, which would probably have left her with the last person she was with.
So she woke up with you, so she's probably with you, Ragnar.
excellent.
Excellent.
Vitharitas has probably also given her a wink as he's gone past.
She's going to wink and blow you a kiss back, which sort of appears as like a smoke ring. Fire friends!
I'm going to look across to Arkan as this happens and see his sad little face. Hey, so Arissa, those goggles, can you see much from here?
Oh, that's a very good question.
Do a perception check with advantage, Arissa.
Twelve.
12. Okay. You sort of look around. It's very, very hard to see because as you look sort of beyond the village and into the forest itself, it's very, very dark. But you can see tiny, tiny little sort of single specks of dust being carried around on the wind that's coming out of the forest. You notice it now more than you did before you put the goggles on, that the forest seems to be, it's almost like breathing. There's air that comes out of it in a gust of wind and then gets sucked back in again, and then comes out and then goes back in again. And so these little wisps of dust are coming towards you and then back away again, and sort of going into the trees and then coming back out again. It's quite ominous. It's a little disturbing.
I quickly take off my goggles as I shiver. Ooh, that's weird. It's almost like the forest is breathing.
Oh.
Oh.
Alric. Breathe?
Yeah, the forest is a bit dangerous in parts.
Most parts. Forest.
Oh, Barry's going to be leading this expedition then.
I only grew up here. So, yeah, of course, I could go take the lead, I guess.
Who fancies an adventure in this village of madness? As
Well-
the folklore says.
We're going to have to pass through it, aren't we, to get into...
Yep.
Well, I guess we'll have to go see then. And with that, I'll just start wandering that way.
Yeah, Pathetus will mount up and ride close to Varric.
I'll press my special button on my Moki ball, or whatever we're calling it. And yeah, fire us out. Pew pew pew!
It's your Christmas ornament.
I'm gonna give him a little scratch under his chin. And get him on his back and ride him in.
Ragnar's going to watch out on the right side of the group, sticking like near the middle.
Okay. I am just sending things to Bristi. So, you guys head in. You meet no resistance. There's very few people around. It's sparse. The houses are a mixture of very old, some rotting wood and some stone. They are all quite narrow and quite tall, and they seem to sort of be falling into each other almost and leaning in. So even though they're quite spread apart and it's very sparse, it also feels quite looming, especially with the dark fog that hangs around the place. You walk through, you spot the one and only tavern in the place. The sign is sort of creaking in the wind that blows in and out of the forest. There is no noise, no music, no laughter coming from in the tavern. It is called Keeler Tavern. Those of you who speak Elvish, it translates to leave. So it basically means leave this tavern, leave this place.
That's so welcoming.
Pathetus is going to chuckle and go, that's one way to get busy.
Yes, it does make the voice go across, doesn't it?
Anybody thirsty? Taverns are usually a good place to get some information, so good a place to go as any.
What would we need here?
Well, it depends how much you know, Varric, but you've not been here for a while, right?
I assume Rosie, I assume I still know the forest like the back of my hand?
As much as you can do, yes.
The wonder of feet makes it that I remember everything.
Yes. You remember a lot of things. The one thing to bear in mind is that this forest changes a lot. It warps a lot, but you know that, and you know how best to keep a level head, but you can map it as best you can, but things within it keep shifting around, and people always say the trees can move, but they don't mean it like, oh, they're ents. They just mean the trees move to fuck you up.
Fair.
They're ents with knives.
Yeah. Let's go and see if there's any you can see you've got for a drink, Arkin. Yes, that's what I want to hear. There might be some, they might have advice on don't go to that part. There's a nest of, I don't know, something evil and bitey.
Ents with teeth?
Teethy ents.
Well, there are, and I sincerely hope we find them. Owlbear here.
God. We're going hunting, Barrett.
Yes, please.
Should we have a pint first, darling?
I wonder if we have to
If
hunt
we must.
humans who have gone insane.
Say that again, Kia. You
Oh, sorry?
cut out for me. What did you say?
Oh, Hannibal asked if they would probably have to hunt or kill humans who have gone into despair.
You're asking what, Hannibal?
Hello?
I can hear you now. Sorry, you went a bit cutty outy for a second.
Oh, okay. Apricity asked what I had said, and I replied that Hannibal was asking if they would have to kill humans who have gone insane and probably are living as animals in the forest.
It's entirely up to you guys. No one has attacked you yet.
Yet. Fuck. How's everybody's hit points doing? I'm gonna walk towards the tavern.
Okay.
Vitheritus will seriously contemplate riding the elk into the tavern, figure it chest will get through, and dismount.
I'll put Byraz back in the Pokeball. Pew pew pew.
Pew pew! I think we need a noise for the Pokeball, so it now is going to be a...
Yes, please.
Yeah, that is the noise now. Alright, so you guys wander up to the tavern. The sign still squeaking in the wind. You push open the door. It's sort of dark, rotted wood, slightly mouldy. Push open the handle. You open the door. It's quite a narrow room, but quite long. The bar is right at the far end. You have to walk between all the tables and one fireplace, but the fire is not lit. And there are stairs at the back that go up to obviously rooms upstairs that can be rented. And there's a few people sat there. Most of them are on their own. There's 3 different people at tables individually on their own, sipping drinks. And there's a small group of people who are all elves, but they are very scrawny, thin, very pale elves sat together. There isn't really much chatter or talk as you walk in, and okay, Varric uses Prestigimon to light the fire. That's what we're calling it now. It's Prestigimon. Prestigital monsters, Prestigimon are the champions.
Oh god.
Oh, I miss Digimon.
It fills me with joy how much Digimon keeps getting brought up. I love it.
Yeah.
So, Varric, you get a few sideways glances from people. The 3 people who are sat on their own don't really seem to notice, and they haven't even looked up at you as you walk in. The group of sallow, sort of thin elves sort of peer around at you over tankards. They're not looking unfriendly, but they're not looking happy. They're just sort of looking, and they watch you walk to the bar, and they just continue drinking, but they're still watching you.
The reference. Who here speaks Elvish? Obviously, Barrett.
Me, I'm supposedly in elf form, remember?
And me.
Ah, the duck.
Vitheritus does
yes.
as well.
Okay. So me and Arissa will hang back and hold our charms ourselves.
We'll just speak in Gnomish for the entire time we're here.
Yeah, fucking elf.
Can I just laugh at the comment of fucking elf in Gnomish?
How do you laugh in Gnomish?
No, I'm laughing at the Gnomish comment.
Is there someone behind the bar right now? Did you say sorry?
Yes, there is. There is a hooded man with long dark hair. He looks probably half elven, 3/4 elven. and he's got like a sort of furrowed brow, and he just sort of standing. He's sipping on his own drink, but he's standing. He's there. You can order things from him should you wish. He can hear you.
I love that Varric is already thinking of food, even though we've literally just had breakfast.
Meanwhile, Vitheritas is sitting at a table, watching the others in the tavern, and pulling out his guitar to play a little tune while waiting to get the others from the bar.
Someone elfie go and order us some drinks and make with the nice.
Arisa, will you be sitting down? Will you follow Varric?
Well, considering I'm carrying 2 small creatures, I think I'll probably sit down.
Okay. Annabelle will keep Annabelle will remain standing up and will just stand guard behind on the chair, with her arms crossed, just glaring at anyone who just as looks at Arisa.
Kind of wondering what these elves are going to think when I walk in with someone who looks like an elf guarding a random human.
So far, what you've
fun.
been met with is nothing from the 3 people sat on their own, and just watchful stares from the group of elves.
I love that we've just walked into this bar, magicked a fire, started playing some music, and walked in with like a weird bunch of us together.
Asserting our dominance.
Exactly, in a very unwelcoming bar.
In a bar called Leave.
Yeah.
You look like the world's angriest butler.
Hannibal looks like the world's angriest butler. I love it.
Is it possible to press the digitation
I'm one hell of a
smile on
butler.
your face?
Nah. God, don't try.
To answer your
that's a good
text
reference.
question, to answer your text question, Varric, you can't see any food on the tables now.
God damn it.
They're skinny as fuck, Varric.
Yes, so am I. Gonna go up to the bar and ask him if there's any food.
Sure. What language are you asking him in?
Elvish.
Okay.
And if that doesn't appear to get any comment, I'm switching to Sylvan.
He responds to you in Elvish.
Ah, good.
He says, "We have the bare essentials. We have small amounts. Are you looking to feed your whole party or just yourself?"
That all depends on the price.
We measure by the bowl here. It is 5 copper per bowl of whatever you choose to indulge in.
I'd like to start with 1 bowl of your best food.
Very well. And will you be having drinks to accompany that?
Something strong for all of us, except for that one, pointing to Arissa. Give her your best non-alcoholic drink.
Very well. That will run you to 2 silver pieces in total.
Okay, I'll just throw 2 silvers on the table. But Rosie, I'm gonna specify that I'm gonna keep a very, very, very close eye to where he goes to fetch the food. Like, which cabinet is it? Is there a lock? All that kind of stuff.
Okay. He does not break eye contact with you as he sweeps the coins off the table and puts them into his coin purse. And he turns around and walks around the back of the bar through a door. And he says something to someone else in Elvish. He is asking for a bowl of, and he's using a mocking voice, a bowl of the best we've got. He returns a moment later with a small bowl and a spoon, plonks them down in front of you, and helps you to bring your drinks over to the table where everyone else is sitting.
Thanks for the help.
He just raises his eyebrow at you and goes back to the bar.
Good.
Yeah,
I know all I need to know.
I reckon he's gonna go up to the bar and just ask for some vodka.
Okay.
You do realize I just ordered the strongest drink for everybody here, right?
Yep.
Do you want a shot or a double?
Half bottle.
I'm going to say all bottle.
Half a bottle will run you 5 silver.
I just put down a gold coin and just walk away after getting the bottle.
Okay, he gives you a half-empty bottle of vodka. The vodka is called Demon's Feet.
Cool.
Rosie, what's the food like that I got?
It's like very, very chunky porridge. You can't quite tell what the chunks are. It's not meat. It's quite sweet. It's not fruit. It's not inedible. It's interesting. It would fill you up for a day. Well, not you. It's probably designed for people who are going to do lots of work or something for the day.
Okay. I'm gonna eat it, like the entire plate, and then I'm gonna keep a close eye on whenever the bar guy is distracted.
All right.
Varric, did you only order for yourself and not for anyone else in the group?
I ordered food just for me, and then alcohol for everybody, except for Arissa. Arissa got the best non-alcoholic drink.
Okay, so Hannibal will grab the drink, take a sip, and put it back down, and just nod at Arissa.
Arissa just kind of rolls her eyes.
Don't you roll your eyes at me. It was not because of it had alcohol. You don't know what they put in that drink. I cannot risk it.
Sure.
Okay. Varric, do me a perception check.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, while everyone else is drinking their drink suspiciously after making sure people are not dying from drinking it. Arkin, how much of your vodka are you drinking?
I'm just casually drinking the bottle.
Okay.
Jesus.
Do me a constitution save, please.
I don't want to get puked on.
20 not.
Okay.
Aw. That's like the opposite of a nat one.
You're getting very, very adept to this. Also, the rest of you, having been ordered the strongest drink they've got, it isn't actually that strong. It's not weak by any chance, by any stretch, but you don't need a saving roll for it. It is it's just alcohol.
So it's a beer, basically.
It's more of a wine.
Ah.
Arkin, sweetie, honey, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Annabelle will swiftly give him her drink. Arcano has 2 drinks.
Arkin drinks her drink.
Do you trust her? Damn.
No, it's not. I
if
don't
you've done
trust
anything
her. I
to
have
the
no
drink, do
reason
let
to
me know.
distrust her.
No, she has not. She just doesn't want to
Okay.
drink after last time.
Okay.
Yup.
All the gifts of people drinking wine. The group of sort of shrunken elves have watched you come in, watched you sit down, and are still shooting you glances every now and then as they continue to drink, and you guys continue to do so as well.
Rosie, did my 25 on perception do anything?
Oh, you're 25 perception. You're watching to see the barman and see if he ever gets distracted. At the moment, sadly, he is also paying quite a lot of attention to you guys.
In that case, I'll just strut over to the guys that are occasionally watching us, the shrunken elves.
Here.
Okay. Okay. So, Varric, you walk up to their table. There is 5 of them sat there.
So, what you looking at?
God.
Varric rocks up to you elves.
Varric is now dead.
Hashtag new character sheet.
Which one? 1? 2?
No,
Yeah, roll the d20 to see which character Varric Timo plays now.
Oh, no, I'm not getting you on that again. That's not happening. So
DM.
yeah.
Could Hannibal kind of throw a little blue flame at Varric, and it forms like a blue shield around his skin before disappearing, just in case?
Sure.
Okay.
Can I send a message to Varric that just says, "Tell them I say hi"?
Oh, I love Arissa.
So Varric, you're gonna feel her magic hit you, and you're gonna stare at your blue hands for a second, and it just will disappear.
I'll look at my hand, roll it around a bit as the flamey shield slowly disappears, and then I'll go. So,
You are an idiot, and I do not trust you.
good idea.
And she also messages, "Hannah would also like to say hi."
Apricity says hi.
I'll message back saying soon.
He said soon.
I just put in my notes, Arissa rings Varric, because I think that's just appropriate. As
You
I
win.
think that's how we're going to say it now. So I'm going to ring him. Yep, that is absolutely fine. Okay. So the 5 sort of shrunken elves, a couple of them are still looking at the table. A couple of the closest look up at you. And don't really respond to you. They just sort of look at you.
I'm gonna spread my wings slightly and drive my dagger into the table.
Oh my.
I believe I asked you a question.
Oh, Varric is
Oh
sassy
my
today.
Gosh, he's kind of sad.
I'm gonna ring Varric. That's not saying hi.
It's how it works in this forest.
All the rest of us are just sitting at the table like, fucking hell, fucking hell.
2 of them stand up slowly. One of them is taller than you. One of them is about the same height. They both...
Ragnar is going to stand up from the table and walk towards Varric and say, 1 minute, my brain stopped working.
That is in character.
I'm sorry, listeners, we're having technical difficulty right now. Andrew will be back soon.
Just give me a second.
You guys fucking laugh.
Error 404. Brain not found. He's finally gone quackers.
Oh god.
So you've currently got 3 sitting down and 2 standing up. 2 standing up elves standing at you. One of which has their arms folded, and one of which is just sort of hands by his side.
So, I'm gonna grab my dagger and just like play with it in my hand.
Okay. They do not look at your dagger. Vitheritas, you've just stood up. You haven't moved over to them.
No, he's just standing up and watching at the moment.
Okay. Ragnar, would you like to have a second attempt at saying something?
Hello.
I'm back. Ragnar doesn't say that.
Ragnar's just been staring off into the distance.
Oh no. Fuck's sake. Okay, Ragnar is going to stand beside Varric. And he's going to just he's going to say to the elves in Elvish, he's going to be like, are you hard of hearing? My companion asked you a question.
Oh, we have another one.
At this point, Viserys will walk up behind them. He's not going to say a thing, but he's just going to be now glaring.
At whom?
Arista waves cheerily from across
Over their heads. Well, basically from
still
between.
continue drinking.
Yeah, I'm gonna knock my drink back.
So Prisity is face palming. Arkan is drinking. Arissa is waving cheerily whilst petting her pet bear. I assume. I embellished, but I assume.
Yep.
Hannibal is guarding said bear, petting Arissa and watching. Ragnar is squaring up to them.
I would like to say I am also casually paying attention to this, but I am holding a spell for a hold person on whoever tries to attack first.
Okay.
Yeah, Hannibal is also waiting for someone to do something, and she's just gonna send something to their throat.
Okay.
I like how friendly we are to this town that we just met.
The taller of the elves says, "There is no need to get lippy. We're just looking at yet another group of damned fools. Obviously, you're here to go into the forest. What is it? Cult? Mass pact? What is your reason for going in there to kill yourselves?"
Hannibal will start chuckling to herself, but she will say nothing.
Can I? I've lived in there longer than you've lived. Care to rephrase?
These are elves who are probably older than you.
So?
Sure.
Depends on what you mean by lived by being in that bar.
Nah. Varric is still very much young and reckless.
Yeah.
Let me quickly find a Senbon image because I have no clue what it is. Oh.
You know those little things that Naruto characters use? Like sharp needles?
Yes.
They will recognize your armor, Angry Beholduck. Yes. They'll recognize Ragnar's armor. And yes, they'll recognize that he is a knight for the Council of Risha. They don't seem too bothered.
These people don't have a will to live. It's not going to scare them.
They seem... They don't seem particularly angry or... They seem almost emotionless, and they're merely peering at you.
Vitharitus will look at them and speak in Elvish and say, "And when was the last time you saw anyone enter or leave?"
They sort of half smile. The last time someone entered was about 6 o'clock this morning. Last time someone left was the barkeep over there. And they nod their heads slowly in the direction of the bartender.
So Vitharitus will just turn and start walking up to the barkeep.
Okay. Okay. So Vitharitas, yep, he's still stood behind the bar. He's sort of still drinking. He's writing in a book as well. Like, seems to be totting up some things.
Dear diary. Pathetic.
So yeah, what do you want to say to the barkeep?
So Vitharitus will approach up on the bar, and if the barkeep doesn't look up, would just sort of wrap his knuckles and his metallic gauntlet on the bar.
Doof, doof, doof. He looks up at you. Can I get you something?
I heard that. Vitharitus will go, "Yes, the gentleman over there said that you just recently come out of the forest."
I wouldn't call a couple of years ago recent, but alright.
It seems to be more recently than anyone else.
Most who go in there either have no intention of returning or just get very unlucky.
And why would you have gone into there?
I walked out.
So you're saying you never entered, you just left?
Found myself in there one day. Kept walking. Walked out. Now I'm here. Warning other people not to be as stupid.
I take it as dangerous as it sounds to be in there.
The number of corpses hanging from the trees, I'll tell you that. And those are just the ones you can see.
So if a party was meant to be going in there for whatever reason,
I would strongly advise against it. But I'm not here to hold your hand and babysit. He points at the 3 people who are sat on their own. See them?
Yep.
There was 4 of them up until yesterday. Early this morning. Decided it was his time. Walked right in. No armour. No weapons. He'd be dead about now.
and if someone wanted to survive in there, what would you tell them?
Tell them don't go in the first place.
And there's someone that managed to walk back out. Well, how did you do it?
By minding my own business. Yeah, we'll try to trick you. Screams aren't really screams. They're siren calls. Not that there's sirens in there. No one would ever be that lucky. The fog will trap you, and the trees will trick you. You can stick to the path as much as you want, but the path will lead you astray. If you think you're on the straight and narrow, you are wrong. If you think you're going in one direction, you are wrong. If you think you've been walking straight for an hour, you've probably turned back on yourself twice and not even realised. Don't bother trying to use a compass. It won't work. And if you come across the Lake Imoliane, turn and run.
What's at the lake?
Ghosts of the damned.
Hannibal will pay your cup at the mention of ghosts, and stare at the man in interest. Ooh, ghosts, you said?
Aye,
Yes.
that I did.
Are they tortured souls?
But
I think it's they who do the torturing.
Oh, don't be silly. Tortured souls are the most delicious. If you're just telling me that they exist here, I am definitely going.
Well, she'll survive all of 5 minutes with an attitude like that.
Annabelle will just smirk at the man.
Her job's not to survive. Her job's to keep someone else alive.
Oh,
I doubt she'll pass too far from them.
well then they're both damned. Just so that you're aware, being able to speak and understand Elvish, Imolian is the Black Lake.
Oh yeah.
can you type it, please?
Yes, I shall type it.
Thank you.
The therapist will glance across at Varric and
That might be more difficult than you.
well, he'll look at where Varric laughs.
Yes, Apricity, you can hear it from your table. Varric, I haven't read your message yet. You can tell me what you're trying to do, or do I have to read it?
Okay. So seeing as the plan worked out slightly better and the barkeep is now distracted, I cast Pass Without Trace and I sneak past him.
Okay. Okay. Alright. Are you going to where he went to get the food?
Yes, but on the way I'm gonna try to, get his pouch of money.
Okay, sure. His pouch of money is dangling off his belt and it's covered by a jacket.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be too much of a challenge for Varric.
Bertie, are you currently at the table, or
He's up at the
He's
bar,
at the bar.
but you can. The pub is pretty much silent, so you guys can hear this conversation.
Okay, Hannibal will send a copy to where he is, because she will not leave Ariza's side in a location like this. So everyone will see a copy appear of her and just walk to Verti. So that may surprise some people at the bar. And she will whisper in his ear, "May I use my mind technique on him? We might get some more interesting information that way."
Just jogging my memory.
It's
That actually caused harm last time, didn't it?
No, I don't think it did. He just became kind of daisy. She did it painfully because you guys were kind of like interrogating him, but she can do it painlessly. They will just be dazed.
But you've had this copy pop up right in front of the barkeep.
Yep.
Who doesn't look amazingly taken aback.
He's seen some shit.
Well, he has seen some really bad shit. So, in the country of magic, seeing something pop up out of magic is not as surprising as it would be in Borsin, for example.
In Borsin, you'd have been murdered at a stake.
Varric, so you're sneaking into the back bit and ignoring the purse?
For now.
Okay.
The therapist will look at the copy and just go, "You'll probably do it anyway, won't you?"
Well, yes, but at least this way you won't kill me afterwards. Or try to kill me. You get very stabby with that weapon of yours.
Looks at his hammer. Contemplates the hammer being a stabby weapon for a second.
I'm surprised very smart enough to know that.
He knows his weapons.
Let me quickly look up stabby hammer.
You need a stabby hammer.
Oh, it's an axe.
Meanwhile, Varric, in the back room, you enter a small, grubby kitchen, and you can see a half-elven, half-human guy who is sat currently with his back half to you. He is picking his nose and cutting up vegetables.
Is
Well,
there
we
any
found
food?
the chunky bits.
Is there any food on the side of the kitchen that he's not facing?
There is a barrel which has scraps in it, so it's like for composting, and there is a few loaves of bread.
I'm gonna take 2 loaves of bread, and then sneak back out.
Okay, could you do me another stealth check?
Yeah, of course. 14 plus 11 plus 10 means 35.
Okay, in which case you will be fine. So, you sneak back out. The Theratas, was there anything else you were asking the barkeep?
The therapist will just sort of glance at him and go, "Thanks for your time," and start to head back to the table.
I mean it. I wouldn't go in. You won't come out.
We'll come out
Annabelle's
one way or another.
clown will put her arms on the table and just stare at the guy for a moment until his eyes meet hers, and she will simply smile, and something will flash before his eyes, but only he will see it, and he will become dazed, and she will slowly lift her hand so it doesn't look threatening to the others, and simply poke his forehead.
Boop.
As she's doing that, Varric, do you want to do your sleight of hand check?
Yeah, of course.
With advantage if you need it, which I don't think you will.
I'm gonna need it.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll
yep.
another constitution.
Hannibal boops the snoop. Sure, if you've been drinking this whole time, do another constitution, yes.
Rosie, 25 for sleight of hand.
Okay, yep, you can steal his purse.
Nice. I'ma take it.
Also, what information do I get out of this?
One sec.
Okie dokie.
Oh,
Okay. Varric, in your purse, there is 10 silver, 20 copper, and 5 gold.
ooh, there's even gold.
Mm-hmm.
So
What are you doing, Hannibal? What are you asking to know?
Information about the places he mentioned, and if he withheld information about it.
From what you can tell, no, he hasn't withheld anything. He doesn't recommend
was
anyone
advanced.
goes in. His mind is a sort of massive black fog and dark trees, and it is, as far as he's concerned, not a good idea, and everyone he has ever seen go in has either gone in with the sole intention of killing themselves or in a fit of stupidity or bravery and has completely failed.
Does she learn anything of value from seeing his mind?
She learns what the Black Lake looks like from a distance, which is almost exactly as described. It's a mass of black water that doesn't ripple, and the black smog hangs so dense over it that you can only just make out the water.
Okay, Annabelle will blink her eyes, and the man will slowly get out of his daze, and she will slap his face like a few pats, smile at him, say thank you, and go back to her table and join her other self back into one.
All right.
Who's a good boy?
And on that note,
That's basically
I
what she's
will pause this first recording. 1 second.